Thank you, Mr. Chan. All right, everybody. We are honored today to welcome Ms. Eva Trenk, who joins us today to bear witness to the Holocaust and to share her story as a survivor. At just 4 years old, Ms. Trenk was deported to a labor camp, and it was the beginning of a long, difficult struggle for survival. Her story is important, and we recognize the courage it takes to continue telling it many years later. From stories like hers, we learn about a tragic time in our near history in which intolerance and hatred were allowed to spread unchecked. And we also learn about resilience of those who fought for a better world, just as Ms. Trenk continues to do today. She helps ensure that those experiences are not forgotten and that they continue to shape a more compassionate and just world. Thank you for your attention, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for a nice introduction. When he said, my name is Eva Trenk, and I was born in Czechoslovakia. Anybody knows where is Czechoslovakia? Thank you. Maybe you visited Czechoslovakia. It's a beautiful country. Life was very good. I had one brother and a big family. We live in the same city 100 years ago. My grandparents, can you hear me okay in the back? Okay, maybe I should step here. As I said, we live my grandparents live for a long time in the same city in Czechoslovakia. I had one brother, his name is Arthur. And unfortunately, 10 years ago, he passed away. And life was very good. I attended kindergarten, and I had lots of friends, and a big family, which was very important for me. I was very active in the kindergarten. My mother always made me a dress. I was 3.5 years old, very cute, as they say, and I enjoy it. I had lots of friends, and some of my family, they were attending the kindergarten. One day, my student, I called them student because we went together, they started to call me different names. So I came home crying, of course, and my mother said, don't pay attention to this. But I am Jewish, and we celebrated lots of holidays, and all the family, we got together, and it was a nice celebration. One day, somebody came to our house, and he talked to my parents, and the decision was, we have to leave the city. So, of course, we were questioning, why? What's happening? What happened, the German was already in Poland, which is next country, okay, from Czechoslovakia. And slowly they are moving to Czechoslovakia. So we were ordered that we have to leave Czechoslovakia. So what happened, they gave us order, and we had to move in the same city, of course, but in the station, and there were buses for us waiting, and they took us to different city. What city it was? It was concentration camp. It wasn't Auschwitz, like probably everybody knows Auschwitz, but this was also working camps. When we arrive, they separate us. Children separate and adults separate. I was, of course, crying because I was always with my parents, and I said, I don't want to live here. I want to go home. I don't know if you can imagine the situation, but that's how it was. And my mother, she was crying also, but she pretended she cares, and she said, just stay here and I will come and visit you. There was already children over there, and they surrounded me, and they said, don't cry, we will do things together, and, just be quiet. That's what it is. So I had no choice. So I was be quiet, and they took us to the room. They were preparing the rooms were prepared, beds, okay? Beds. Some of them, they are sleeping with the blanket on the floor because there were lots of children. Anyway, sometimes you are very comfortable. In the middle of the night, whistling. What happened, first time special, when the first time you come to this place, you don't know what to do. So children who were there already, they told me just put fast. Everything was fast, okay? Put something, shoes, most important shoes, because Czechoslovakia, I should have said, is a country where we have 4 seasons, okay? Spring, summer, fall, and winter. And it was in the fall, which was already cold. Sometimes the snow already was. So, okay, put some shoes and go out. So we came out. What happened? We were marching. The children, can you imagine? 3 years, 7 years, children, we were marching. And this was everything during the night. Some of them, they couldn't make it. So they stayed there, and you know what they did to them? They separate them, and they never came back. So everybody tried to survive the situation, okay? So we were marching for half an hour, sometimes 1 hour, and we came back. And this was happening a couple of times, okay? It's not once or twice, couple of times. Anyway, situation in the camp was not happy. I was crying because I was missing my mother and my father. And my mother, once in a while, she said, I will come to visit you. Don't worry about this. Just, make friends with the children here, and I will come and visit you. That's what she did. Once in a while, very secretly, because everything was under control over there. So very secretly, she came and visited me, and I was happy child. One day she came and she said to me, she called me Evko, okay? In Czechoslovakia, as a children, they call Evko. I will come next time, and I will take you out from here. I could hardly wait till she comes, okay? I was waiting and waiting and waiting. One day she came, and she said, put this and this to dress up, and we're going out. What happened, my grandmother, of course the whole family was there, my grandmother, she was a very professional person. My mother, she had a good voice, but she wasn't working. She took care of the children. But my grandmother, they had a store. She had a store, and she was very business professional woman. Okay, so she taught to my mother. She said to her, "Just do what I do." Okay, my mother said, "Okay." So what happened, my mother one day, she came to get me, and she said, we are going to visit somebody. My grandmother, meanwhile, she talked to one of the officers. She bribed him. She gave him money. She paid him, and she said to him, take us to this next village. He said, I don't want to take this opportunity because they can shoot me. It was a very dangerous situation. Everybody was afraid to everybody's. But later, she found out that he was Jewish and he wanted to help us. So he took us to the next village. We came to this next village, and they were Christian, nice couple, and they had a farm. So my mother and my grandmother, she was working. My mother never worked in her life because when she was teenager, she went to school and then she got married. So she was always like a homebody. But my grandmother, she was professional businesswoman, okay? So for her to work on the field or something or helping, it was her job. She enjoyed it, and she helped my mother. So we had a nice life, okay? I'm calling nice life because we could stay in the room. We can play together with, I should say my brother also. He came also. And so life was good. Life was good. And then one day, knock on the door, and they come and they get my mother. They said, "You are the partisan." Everybody knows what is partisan? Okay, this is the group of soldiers, and they were opposite German, okay? So they were on our side. They were helping us. So, but there were no partisan who came and knocking on the door. They were working with the German. And they come and get my mother. They said, "You are the partisan, and you have to come with us." My mother said, "I am the working person here. I have 2 children. I cannot go with you. You must." Okay? There is no negotiation over there. No negotiation. My mother had no choice. So they took my mother, and my brother and I and her mother, we were stoned, you know. We just was looking at each other and no crying. I was so surprised because even my mother then said, anyway, they took my mother, they kept her for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, she came back and she said, "Don't ask any question." Okay. So we didn't ask any question. We were so happy then she came back. And she talked, of course, her mother, but not with the children. So anyway, we were satisfied because we were happy to have mother with us, okay? So, but then she said, "We have to leave the city because somebody reported her, okay? And she didn't trust to stay in the same place anymore." So one day she asked the owner, very nice Christian couple, young couple. She asked him to take us to the mountains because Czechoslovakia is a beautiful country. When you have a chance, travel to Czechoslovakia also between the other states, but Czechoslovakia, I suggested you travel to Czechoslovakia. You will be not sorry to spend the money because it's a beautiful country. Anyway, so he took us to the next mountains. Okay, so when he dropped us over there were lots of people, lots of Jewish people staying there, and the partisan was there also with the partisan. So they said to us, "Don't get very comfortable, because we never know when the German might come and invaded us." Okay, so we live from one day to the other day, but we had food because they were cooking for us, and life was satisfied, okay? So we had no choice, so we stayed there. One day they came and they said, "You have to leave because the Germans are coming." So we had no choice. We went to another place. They hired the cab or the horses, and they took us to another village. So we came to this place, very nice people. It was very nice people, and it was, they were making the company, there was big company, and they were making furniture, and furniture. And they employed my mother and my grandmother. my brother and I, we stay in the room, and whenever you do, you study a little bit, and you play a little bit, and they had the bunnies. We took care of the beautiful white bunnies. And for us children, the life was wonderful, right? But it wasn't very wonderful because in a couple of months later, it was announced the war is coming to the end. So everybody was waiting what's going to happen. It was the German came and there was fighting between Russian and German. It was a big war, okay? A really, really big war. If I tell you, the city where we used to live, the houses was burned down to the ground. So can you imagine how big it was? So, but we stayed there because the transportation, we couldn't go anywhere. The transportation was breaked, and there was no transportation, so we had to wait. Okay, finally, they decided, okay, you can go. It was okay, and my mother, and she took us, of course, and we went to Bratislava, which is now capital city of Slovakia. And she signed the name because she was looking for my father and the rest of the family. When she signed my father's name, and she had to wait a couple of days or something, and the telephone number, she left the telephone number, and somebody called her, and he said, I saw your husband in Auschwitz. Everybody knows where is Auschwitz? It's the biggest concentration camp. And anyway, if I tell you 6 million Jewish people were killed, not only in the Auschwitz, altogether, it was big, okay? So he said, I saw your husband in Auschwitz. I don't know if he survived or not, but last time I saw him, he was alive. Okay, so my mother was happy to hear the news about her husband and my father. And so we're going back to the city where we were born. We came, everything is burned down to the ground. There were 3 houses left in the city. So we had no choice to move to another city. And my mother, I always said, my poor mother, she had no choice. Women at that time didn't work. You probably don't know about this. Women didn't work. But my mother had no choice, but she had to go to work to support us, the children and her mother. Later we find out, guys, 80% of my family never returned. It means they passed away, they got killed, probably they got killed, they got burned, shoot, whatever, never came back. And also my father never came back. So we grew up without my father. And life was not easy, guys. There was no easy life. Because if you have no money, you cannot survive, right? Without the money. So that's why my mother had no choice and she had to go to work. Can you imagine? She was working with the guys only. And they didn't treat her nice. She was complaining, but she had no choice. She had to work. So myself and my brother, we tried to be the best children you ever had. We never said no. We always listened, and we tried to help as much as possible to my mother. And my grandma, she was staying home, and she was cooking, okay? She was taking care of us, and she was cooking and cleaning, whenever has to be done. Because when my mother came back from work, she was so exhausted, she had no energy. So that's how it was. No help from the government, not a penny from the government. So whenever my mother made, I don't remember, of course, but we had to live from this money whenever she had. Okay, but then later she became very successful after a couple of years, and life was much better. I went to school, and my brother went to school. I was very good student, okay? So I wanted to let you know, study hard. That's the best thing you can do for your parents, study hard. Because the student, when you are smart and study, your parents will be very happy, trust me. So I studied, and I was a good student, and I had lots of friends. But all my friends, I didn't have not one Jewish, I am a Jewish, of course, but I had no Jewish friend. Why? Because everybody got killed, you know. And who survived, they were much older or much younger. So I had no Jewish friends. But the friends what I had, the Christian, we were like brother and sisters. We were so close, very close. I will never forget, even after how many years? 40, 50, 60 years, I still remember their name. So, and one of my very good friends, she was sick, she got sick, and from here, I was here in the United States, I always tried to send her $10 or $20. I know it's not too much, but for this $10 or $20, she could buy something in the Tuzex, it's called Tuzex, and she could give the things whenever she bought a Tuzex to the doctors, because she needed the best doctors. So I tried to support her as much as I could, right? And I was working. So anyway, I went to school. I am jumping, I know, I'm sorry. And I was a good student, and we traveled because I belonged to the art. We were dancing, and we went to Prague, which is the capital city of Czech Republic. They separated Czech Republic and Slovak Republic. I'm from the Slovak Republic, but we were traveling to Prague to dance because there was the activities. So life was pretty good. And then I was very good in sport. I played volleyball, I played tennis. I was very active in school. In 9th grade, guys, in 9th grade, I don't know what the oldest grade here is, what, 8? But I was in the 9th grade. We had to decide what we want to study, what we want to become. So in 9th grade, my very best friend, she wanted me to go to nursing because she went to nurse school. But I couldn't take it because when I see blood, I was fainting. So I chose the economy. I was very good in mathematics, so I chose economy. So I study economy and like it. And then I got, after I graduated, I was working savings and loan. And I will never forget, because when the new person comes, you know, the person who was working over there, they wanted to show me how much they are, how they are smart. So when the customer comes, they always try to be loved, okay? To be loved and to try to explain it to me. And I didn't like this part. But I had no choice. I need a job, so I stayed there, okay? Anyway, so I was working for many years in savings and loan. Then I became, of course, more successful. with the experience. And then I loved to dance. So I went to dancing, and that's I met my husband. And we got married, and we had a son, and very happy. So I moved to the city where he was from, not too far. And he had the car, so this was the luxury that time. He had the car, so I was always, exciting to go with the car. And we got the house, and beautiful. We bought the furniture. You know how it is, right? When person get married, so you started from nothing, but then you accomplished a lot. My husband had excellent job. He had very good job. He was an electrical engineer, so he had a very good job, very good position. And I was working. Yeah, I was working also. And I enjoyed working. And then we had a son, Peter. He was born in November. And we had beautiful house. We had a child. We were very happy. So when my son was born, I didn't have to work, and I didn't work for a while. And then I find the babysitter, and she was taking care of the Peter, and life was good. In 1968, situation changed. What happened? I don't know, maybe you hear of this or not. Russia invaded Czechoslovakia. Anybody here? No? In 1968? Yeah. So tanks, and with the tanks and the city, and we visited them. Of course, we came to visit them, and we brought them food. The soldiers said, excuse me, we don't want to be here. Excuse me. I got you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So the Russia said, no, we don't want to be here. We had no choice. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So we brought them food because we felt sorry for them. Okay, so lots of Jewish and not Jewish people were leaving Czechoslovakia. And my husband had sister and brother. Everybody left. They said, we are going. We don't want to live under the Russian government. So we were debating. We had a small child. We were debating. But we decided that we have to leave also. Guys, whenever we had house, furniture, cars, everything. We left everything and take 2 suitcases and a small baby. And we came to Vienna, Austria, which is the border. We didn't have to, we just took the train. So we came to Vienna, and there was this organization, Jewish organization, and we find out about this also before, and we register with them, and we stay in Vienna for 4 weeks, and then they sent us to Italy, in Rome, and we stayed there for 6 months. And we got a visa because we came legally to United States. I wanted to go to Switzerland. I love Switzerland. Yeah, when I was married, we had no children, no child, we traveled a lot. And Switzerland, I love Switzerland. When you have a chance to travel, guys, travel the world. It's beautiful, beautiful. So I love Switzerland. I wanted to go to Switzerland. And his sister, my husband's sister, they went to Switzerland, and they had 2 children also. They say their life is very good. I wanted to go. My husband said, no. We are leaving Europe. He didn't want to stay in Europe. So we came to Los Angeles. I thought when we took the plane, then we're going fair somewhere in the middle because it was terrible. But we arrived safely, and we ended up on Fairfax. Everybody knows where is Fairfax, right? In the motel. And then we started to look for the apartment. Some people, we find the apartment, which was nice, 1-bedroom apartment. Nobody wanted with a child. Peter was almost 4 years old. Nobody wanted with a child. So we had no choice. Then look, and finally we find the apartment, 921 North Sierra Bonita. Anybody know Sierra Bonita? Okay, in Los Angeles. That's where we find this apartment. And the owners, they had like 6 units. So we had this 1-bedroom, and the owner was from Poland. And it was very good. And I tell you why. When we came to United States, not my husband or I, we didn't speak any English. So, and the Polak and Czechoslovakia is our neighbors. So I could communicate with her, which was very good, okay? And she helped me a lot. Peter got sick. She came to the doctor with me. Excuse me. I needed groceries. She came to the store, shopping with me. She was very nice. She was a teacher, but she helped me a lot. Mrs. Vrobel. We came in 1968, a lot of years, and I still remember her name, Mrs. Vrobel. She helped me a lot, to the doctor, to the appointment. Anyway, I will never forget her. So we stayed in this 1-bedroom apartment for some times. It was very comfortable, okay? And my husband got a job. We were here maybe 1 or 2 months, and my husband got a job. No language, okay? And he got a job. And you know what, guys? He worked 10 hours a day. I'm not exaggerated. 10 hours a day. And he died from this job. He died. So he worked 10 hours a day. That's why the owner keep him, because he was a really hard-working person. And later Peter was, over 4 years old. Somebody came to visit. That's what happened. Everybody, kind of like Los Angeles is a small city, not really. But when the new person comes, people talking. So we had lots of visitors. And one couple came. They find out in the temple, the young couple from Czechoslovakia with a small child came to Los Angeles. They came to visit. Later we find out that distant family of mine. And her children and grandchildren, they went to Hebrew Yavna Academy. Anybody here Hebrew Yavna Academy? Okay, I hear few, yeah. So they recommended Peter go to Yavna Hebrew School. It is Orthodox school, and we never was Orthodox. So anyway, he went, he graduated, he was a good student, and after he graduated, he went to study anyway. So that's how it was, and I got a job also. I did the accounting. I was very good with the numbers, and the whole family, we were working. Then we moved to the bigger apartment, and yeah, the most important part I left. You know, my mother, anyway, when we were leaving, I said to her, Mother, we are leaving, and we don't know where we're going. And it's true, we didn't know where we're going. But when we get established, you will come and stay with us. So one day she came to visit us in Rome because we were 6 months in Rome. And then more or less we know we're going to America. So she visited us for a couple of weeks and then she left. But when she went back to Czechoslovakia, she left everything. She had also a house and everything. And, okay, I have to mention something very important part. When my brother was 13 years old, we still live in Czechoslovakia, okay? And he decided he wants to go to Israel. 13 years old child. My mother didn't want him to go. She was crying. But then there was a group of students who were ready to go, and he wanted to go with them. So he went to Israel in 1949. Israel in 1949 wasn't like today. If you travel to Israel, it's completely different. In 1949, Israel was in the war, and anyway, he ended up in the kibbutz, and he wrote terrible letters. My mother was crying all the time when she read his letter, and that's he was. Later, he became very successful builder. He went to the army, of course, and he got wounded. Then he studied to be builder. So he built the houses. Okay. So my mother decided, I'm jumping, I know. When we were here, maybe like 3-4 years, she decided to go to Israel. So she left everything behind and she went to Israel. When she went to Israel, as I said, Israel wasn't like today. If you travel to Israel, you know how is Israel today. That time, everything was neglectful. It wasn't like today. But she was with my brother. She loved it. She stayed with him for a while. Then she got her own apartment, and she stayed in Israel. When we were here 2 years, 3 years, then we decided we need bigger apartments, so we moved to the 2-bedroom apartment. Couple of minutes? Okay. I have a couple of minutes, so I don't know what is first. So she came to visit, okay. We were here, we took 2 bedrooms apartment, and she stays with us 2 years here and 2 years in Israel. Then she was very active. She had beautiful voice. She went to the club, the senior club. And then she got sick. She wanted to go to Israel, and she's buried in Ashkelon. Anybody knows Ashkelon? In Israel. She's buried there. Anyway, meanwhile, I have to be fast. My son got sick. I'm jumping. My son got sick, and he passed away. This was the Holocaust for me, guys. That was the Holocaust for me, okay? For 3 years, 4 years, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't talk anybody. Anyway, it was a big tragedy for me. He got sick, and he died. So he is buried in the valley. Anyway, then I was working, and I decided the work was the best for me. The work was best for me because I didn't have to think about nothing working. Okay. So I was working, and then I decided then I need to retire. Okay. And so I retire, but I wasn't prepared to retire because I work constantly, right? But then somebody mentioned to me there is the group in the what group? There is a group of Jewish organization, Jewish people speaking. So I went, I visit, and since then I spoke at UCLA. For 10 years, I spoke at UCLA, and different schools and temples I visited, and I speak. The same thing like I'm speaking you today. And then I always love art, so I took 1 semester class, and I am doing little. Too bad I don't have too much time to show it to you, but I paint little bit, not too much. And now, a couple of years ago, I decided, then since I'm alone, I lost my husband, I lost my son, and I have no family, so I decided to go and move in the senior place, okay? It's a private place, and I've been there for almost 3 years. And I have some friends over there, which I like it. And that's about it. I have 2 cats. Okay, so that's it. If you have any question, first of all, I wanted to thank you.